On last night's match night, gentlemen, Christian Jack indicated Canada Soccer has started the initial interviews for the next head coach of the Canadian men's national team. I want to play a little game here, though. I want you guys to put on your best Kevin Blue hat, imitation, suit. Just pretend you're him, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. And I want to hear from you, like, what is it if you're Kevin Blue? What do you want to hear from the coaches in this interview? Jordo, so if you're him, what is the prospective coach? Are you? Oh, is that what his CEO does?
Yeah, that's my stress look. You've never seen it before, huh? Just stretch. I was like scratching my head. I think if I were Kevin Blue, shout out to my Mississauga native, I think I'm just asking this candidate about how they see this program in the next little bit, in the next 2 years, and if you're going to be dedicated. I don't want to take this long of a process to find a manager, and then going into the World Cup, they're almost looking like they want to leave, or they're on the way out. Like, I need to look in the whites of the eyes. This needs to be a marriage, and not this new age marriage, like old school marriage, okay? Where we're going to be together and we're going to make this work no matter what. That's the biggest thing I want to see. Again, I said it yesterday and I'll say it for a bit, and maybe this is a part of me switching my tune and saying that I don't think there's going to be a new manager before Copa America, but I hope that Kevin Blue and Canada Soccer get married to this person and we can really start moving forward. I'm ready to throw the rice, Andy Petrillo.
So you want a guy or girl, whoever they're in. You want somebody who's going to be a coach beyond 2026? Like, that matters to you?
At least give the intent that they would want to be here for longer. Like, I'm not looking at, let's just ride out this moment of Copa America and the World Cup and then deuces Canada. Like, someone who has the passion to say, I want to be here longer. Like, I could see the vision. I could see the potential of what this nation could be. I want someone that the whites of their eyes is like, look, this is what I want. I want to be here for a while.
Okay, interesting. Are you feeling the same way, Ollie?
First question I'd probably ask is, do you know anything about domain registration or websites? Could you help out in that regards?
Oh God, no.
Just kidding.
IT department.
Oh God, no is great.
Line 3.
But have you guys discussed this already, or are viewers?
Oh, you didn't watch a show last night. You didn't watch match night. Oh, Andy,
it was covered.
I did not.
In some style.
My electrolytes that I'm consuming today will indicate how my night was last night. So, and I'm not talking about party. I'm talking sicky sick. So my apologies.
Okay. You can watch it on catch up, and you'll be better.
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. By the way, subscribe to One Soccer. Give us a like. Tell your friends. Sorry, Ollie, go ahead.
Where was I? Yeah, be that, I would say I agree with Jordan. I'd like to see someone who kind of has more of a long-term commitment and some long-term ideas as well about the program. But the question I'll go with to answer the original question was just, how are you going to get the best out of our best players? Like, how are you going to empower Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David to be the best versions of themselves in the biggest moments in a Canada jersey? And I think that's something that we've struggled with over the past 18 months. You know, these guys have had magical moments at certain times in a Canada shirt, but there's also been inconsistency there as well. And I think particularly when you look at the World Cup, when you look at the Nations League final, like the biggest games Canada has played, you need those guys to be the best players on the pitch, and I don't think they've quite hit those levels. We know they're capable of it with the ability they have and what they do with their club. We just haven't struck that balance, I don't think, and found the right kind of combinations, system, whatever it is, when they're playing for Canada. So I'd like to hear those ideas first and foremost as to how you're really going to get the best out of this group at the Copa America. Hopefully, if they're there in time, we see in 2026 as well.
Okay, Wheels.
So, Blue, this is to Blue. I'd say, yo, listen up. Here's the story
about
a little guy that lives in a blue world, and all day and all night.
That's enough. Andy's not well. Come on. Okay.
I thought that would cheer up. That was for you, Petrillo. That was a shout out. I hope the first question in any interview, by the way, is like, so where would you play Alphonso Davies? Because that discussion hasn't been had. No, it's more of what Oliver just said. How are they going to take the next step? Like, whether it be game model, the way that you utilize players. In fairness, where and how to use Alphonso Davies is a big question that needs to be asked. How do you, make sure that players like Jonathan David are in a position where to help lead this team going forward? So, and what game model it will bring out the best of this program, and that you can clearly identify Canada Soccer with. Like I'm not sure what that is or what that will be going forward, and it's going to be intriguing. I'm not sure if that answer will necessarily strike a chord with Kevin Blue, but other people that will be involved in the interviewing process, I think that could definitely pique their interest. And then just in terms of a management perspective, this is more an off the field question. I'd ask any prospective manager whether they can really just focus on managing the team and getting the most of them on the field, and allow and be able to trust the association to make the proper decisions for them and the rest off the field. We have a presidential election coming up this weekend. If there's a new president, new board members, new general secretary, new people coming in, can you trust that this association is going to take a step forward, and you don't need to get involved in everything that's happening off the field? Because at the end of the day, the manager's job is to get the most of the team on the field, and working with, whether it's a sporting director, whether it's, people that are hopefully being brought in to develop youth programs across this country, whether you can oversee the footballing project first and foremost. And if they're in a position where they can't do that, or they want to meddle, or they want to be overly involved in something that maybe they shouldn't, then I kind of move on from there. So this needs to be a football coach first. That has to be priority.
All right. Let's wrap things up here with the Canadian Championship. One more round of games in the preliminary round before we officially move on to the quarterfinals. So what we have on Wednesday is a double, but it's really a triple header. So really 2 times, but 3 games being played. Atletico Ottawa versus Valor, Forge versus York, and then the late one, Pacific versus TSS Rovers. That's followed on Thursday by Halifax Wanderers versus St. Laurent. One bold prediction from each of you. Jordo.
Mine, Eddie Petrillo.
I know where you're going.
You're sick. I've been preaching the same thing. Hallelujah. Same thing. I'm not saying Halifax Wanderers are going to lose. I'm saying that there's a very good chance that they could. CS St. Laurent, League One, Quebec squad, going to Halifax. I remember when Blainville went there to Halifax as well, gave them a game. Talked about it yesterday on match night. Morelli came and saved the day to 2-1. But it's just going to be a game based on what Halifax have been in. They have to hit the ground running. They have to use the fans. They have to use that energy. If they don't, this is 90 minutes going straight to pens. League One teams can stay around a CPL team if we really don't put them away early in that first half. So if there's going to be upset this week, a true upset, it's in that match.
Okay, Ollie?
I'm going the other way. I'm going an upset-free first rounds. Cavalry through,
Oliver.
AFC through, Atletico Ottawa through, Forge through, Pacific through, Halifax through. Be some great.
You don't think Valor could be Athletic Ottawa?
Everyone through.
No, I'd consider that an upset, and I don't see it.
All right, Wheels.
There's something about York United going to Tim Hortons Field. There just is. We've seen it before. We have reference points for that. And I think that looking at that York United team that played on the weekend, way better. Cordoba was great. Stirring comes into the team. Sumaro with the start. He didn't start last time that they played Forge. And I think that they played them recent enough that there's a little bit more familiarity there. And I think they understand that they need to be much better. So there's something about this fixture. I just don't think it's going to be an easy one for Forge.
All right. Tune in. One Soccer. We are the home of the TELUS Canadian Championship. Let's get to the Visa Women's Soccer Report. Semifinal wrapped up, and we're going to focus on Chelsea here because Chelsea looking to win their first ever UEFA Champions League title. Obviously, they had to get to the final. We were also keeping an eye on it because they have a couple Canadians, one in particular, Kadisha Buchanan, who already has 5 Champions League titles. I was looking to make it 6 and doing so with Chelsea. So not only, though, does Chelsea get eliminated, but it's in a bit of a dramatic fashion because it's Kadisha Buchanan who picks up a red card midway through the second half. Questionable decision. A lot of people felt that way, even to the point where even former England international Ian Wright called the decision disgraceful, took to Twitter and said, what is this, right? Because it seems like it's a pretty routine challenge. What do you make of the decision, Ollie? There it is.
I think it's incredibly harsh. I think Khadijah Buchanan, it's the second yellow, which is important to say firstly, not straight reds. But she ends up kind of just catching the player's toe. I think the Barcelona player makes a real meal of it and kind of buys this one out of the referee. But you can slow this down and watch it close up like we do here. Like her studs are not showing towards the opponent. She gets the ball first, and then it's just the slightest clip of the toe at the end. Like, it's debatable to me whether that's even a foul, let alone a yellow card that results in a red card. Looking at the ref's kind of reaction, I think the ref forgot that she'd already booked her because there's a delay between the second yellow and then the red appearing. So maybe there's a little bit of regret there, but it was just incredibly unfortunate for Chelsea throughout, and the Canadians were at the center of it, unfortunately. Deflected goal off of Buchanan, red card for Buchanan, which was contentious. And then Ashley Lawrence ends up giving away the penalty, but she knew nothing about it because Jess Carter pushed the Barcelona player into her, and Bonmati, the Barcelona player, tripped over Ashley Lawrence. So just really unfortunate the way they lost that game, and obviously a tough one for Emma Hayes going out like that without the Champions League in her trophy cabinet.
That's right, because now she can officially go and take on over the national team duties for the women. Tough one there, that's for sure. The final will actually be Barcelona versus Lyon.